Hey everybody, how are things going? So today I'm actually going to, okay, I see 7 of you are here, yay! I've changed my setup and I'm doing something different, so I'm getting all the new notifications for everything, so I might be like, squirrel. So excuse me on that. So I'm Kathy Hester, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're gonna make a super easy, lazy dish. So now I have to push the button to go on Amazon as well. Hey everybody, I'm Kathy Hester, cookbook author and blogger at plantbasedinstantpot.com and healthyslowcooking.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest dinner humanly possible. So I'm going live on multiple channels, so I'll be looking a few different places to make sure all the comments are coming up. So far I have no comments though, so this could be interesting. So what I would love, you can see behind me, oh yay, hi Brazen Spirituality, you're making me so happy. And is glad to catch me live, and I'm glad to see you as well. So what I'm going to do is, I know a lot of us just have like these little teaspoons of energy left at about 4 o'clock, and that's how I felt too. So what I have been doing in my brain is trying to figure out some ways that we can do some super easy meals. Now I'm going to show you a couple of extra things. And hey Facebook user, I don't see the names on Facebook, but if you give me your name, I would be glad to say it. And Mary Ann is here, which is awesome. And I'm excited that you're with me too. So let's see. So what we're going to start with a can of chickpeas. Literally a can of chickpeas. So I'm doing a class tomorrow in Kathy's Cooking Club, and all we're going to do are 1 can of beans or 2 can of beans if you want to get ahead of the game. So the most important thing when you have a can of beans, now you could use pre-cooked beans that you already made. And if you're on Amazon, you'll see down in the carousel, I've got both organic canned beans and organic dried beans. So you could cook these in your Instant Pot or your slow cooker and kind of have them saved up for later. Hey Sylvia, it's awesome to see you. And Pam is here. That's great. And so is Carrie. You guys are so awesome. And if you can, if you're watching on Amazon especially, be sure to click the follow button. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of going live a lot of different places at once. We're going to see how this works out. Oh, okay. And future brain food, can you do some low fat, low carb, not another salad dinner ideas? The low carb could be a little bit hard, but sure. I definitely can do, I pretty much cook no fat as it is, but I can figure out something for you. Now, you can make this into not a salad. So basically we're going to make chickpea salad. And chickpea salad is really just kind of the vegan version of like a tuna salad. So it's stuff from a can that you squish up with things and you make it into something. So tonight we're serving it over salad greens, but I also put it on toast a lot as well. Oh, awesome. Sherry switched over to YouTube and she said she loves chickpeas. I love chickpeas too. Chickpeas are kind of magic because you can cook them a really long time and it doesn't really affect them. They don't break down like, let's say, a pinto bean or a kidney bean or something like that. And Deb is here, awesome. And you made chickpeas in the Instant Pot, and that is amazing. So when you have a can of chickpeas, so a can of chickpeas is about 1.5 cups cooked chickpeas. So just know, so if you see a recipe that says canned chickpeas and you have cooked chickpeas, close enough. And honestly, it could, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed that the ounces change, right? So it's never exactly the same, but that's about what we're looking at. So there you go. And what I've done is I've taken the can of beans, I put this little bean can drainer that everybody loves. And so that is also, if you're on Amazon, that's down in the carousel as well. if you want to watch on Amazon, you can just go to amazon.com and up in the top live streams and then look down and you should see me on there. And then we're going to save this. This magic liquid is called aquafaba. And we're going to use this in something we're going to do today too. But let's say I wasn't going to. I didn't want to deal with it. I'm not going to do anything. I could freeze this in little ice cube trays and use it for later. So some people are not into keeping it, and some people are. You can whip it with sugar and make meringues. You can use it as an egg substitute in baking, like for, I don't know, like cakes and cookies and things. It doesn't rise up, but it keeps that good moisture. And anyhow, we're going to put it aside. So what we're going to do too is we're going to take this little masher, and I've got to get used to my new setup. I am looking here instead of over here. I no longer have a laptop there, which is kind of fun and exciting. Okay, so literally the first thing I'm going to do, and I didn't rinse these, so you can see there's a little bit of aquafaba on there. Oh, and Sherry Adams says she's used it in cornbread before, which is kind of awesome. Oh, great. And Bikin Toulouse is here on Amazon, and it's awesome to see you as well. Okay, so what I want to do is I don't want this as smushed as for hummus, so I'm not going to use my Ninja blender for this because I don't want it to be a puree. I want to have some texture in there. And how much texture depends on you. And we're going to make some of our own vegan mayo. Yeah, and Sherry said she's used the aquafaba before, which is great. Oh, thank you. Brazen says my hair looks bouncy and healthy. I took a shower earlier today like a grown-up person would do. So that's about what I'm looking for. Something that's not perfectly smooth, but looks, you know, a little smushed up. Now, if you just had regular vegan mayonnaise, you could go ahead and put it in here now. And what I'm going to go ahead, I think, let's go ahead and we'll make the mayonnaise and then we'll continue. Yes, Deb, that is a mini masher. And I love my little mini masher for things like this. And I also, I don't slice avocado to put on my avocado toast. I like to mash it. And so that's the way I do it. Okay, awesome. So there's our beans. And now let's go ahead and make a quick oil-free vegan mayo. And I'll give you some options. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a little thing of silken tofu. So what I'm going to do is you have to kind of open it this way. I like these because these are shelf stable and you can just keep them right in the pantry for whenever you want. And what we are going to do, and I'll show you from above too, is I've got my kitchen shears. Remember, and what are kitchen shears? Shears that you could lick because they're that clean. No one in the house gets to use them on packages and things like that. So let me go overhead. I'm looking up there like it's somehow magically going to turn on. There we go. Because I want you to see that even though it's not the water pack like the other, there's still going to be some water we can pour out of here. It's not a whole lot. Oh, let's see if I can get it where you guys can kind of see. But there's some, okay? And this whole thing will just slide right out. And any of those little pieces I can do something with, or I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here. If you don't use soy and you are okay with oil, you can use aquafaba and oil to make this as well. So it's really up to you. I'm just going to get this in there. All right. So probably what I'll do is if we need something, I'll use a little aquafaba for it. I'm going to put in, I don't know, probably, let's start off with 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Let's do 2. And if you wanted to, you can make it like a pinch of garlic powder, onion powder. You could put sriracha in here. You could do all manner of things. Okay, but I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. If you are, I'm probably putting about a half a teaspoon, a quarter to a half a teaspoon of salt. And then I've got a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You could also use some lemon or something like that. Okay, so let's see if it'll just blend up on its own. It might, and it might not. And it's okay either way. So this is that Ninja smoothie bowl blender that I showed you guys the other day. And it's pretty awesome. It's kind of my new favorite because when you move this, it has these little guys that help you move it around. So it works really well. Let's go to spread. You see? That looks pretty good right there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to taste this. And again, you don't have to make your own from scratch. I like this guy because it's smaller than my old one, and I love this one for like the vegan chopped liver that I've made recently. And see, look how smooth that is. And let me find you a better view. See, look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? It's very, very, very smooth. You guys can kind of see out that way. That's out the side of my door. So you're getting a view you've never seen before. Yeah, and Brazen Spiritual, it is slick. And here's the thing. I got this over Black Friday, I think. It was a little bit on sale. It's still less expensive than a lot of the other premium blenders. And what was cool is when I got this, the stuff from my old Ninja fit on here. So, and it comes with 2 larger containers, and my old spice grinder fits in there and stuff. So it's awesome. So what we need to do is get some tasting spoons, and I'm going to taste it. So what I'm tasting for is I'm tasting to see if it's like got enough salt. I'm tasting if it has a little bit of tang. You could use lemon juice instead of vinegar. And I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And it does not have enough vinegar for me. So I'm going to add a little bit more. I think I'm going to add 2 more teaspoons. And also for me, it's not quite salty enough. It just kind of tastes tofu-ish. And it probably wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of lemon in there anyhow. Let's see, I think I have a lemon. So I think what I'm going to do is rinse this lemon a little bit. And I'm going to put just a little bit of the zest in there to give it a little bit of oomph. And I don't have this, but this is my OXO zester that I really like a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to get just a little bit. See how you can tell the color's going? And you know what tofu? This was extra firm tofu. Usually I get the organic kind, but they just didn't have it. So I'm probably going to, ooh, I'm getting more on the side of my cabinet. You guys see that? This is, it's one of the main reasons why it's always good to clean your counters before you start cooking. Because that means I can get that off of there. So I probably put maybe half a teaspoon of zest in there just to give it a little bit of oomph. And if you had roasted garlic, you can make roasted garlic mayo like this. So you can make like an aioli, something like that. Okay, and this is gonna, you can see some of the liquid coming back up now. Okay. And let's see it from the side this time. Get this up here. So you can kind of see those guys working. you can't really see it. It's hard to run it backwards when I don't get to see the things. And I think you could use any kind of silken tofu. You could use the kind that's in the water too. Again, this is the one I like to keep, and oftentimes I'll go ahead and just buy it by the case, honestly. Okay, so let's try this guy again. So let me let you see. It's still nice and yummy. Taster spoon. So we added a little more vinegar, a little bit of lemon zest, and we added a little more salt for me. The lemon really took it up a notch. I think it could possibly use a little more salt, but also we're going to add some salt into some things that we're going to be making as well. So you don't have to make your own homemade mayo, but did you see how ridiculously easy this was? And not only that, we could put some sriracha in here, make it a sriracha mayo or a bang bang sauce. This has no oil. If you wanted to make it with no sugar, it has no sugar in it. Perhaps if you would like, I think it might be cocktail time. No, just kidding. I did not have any cocktails before this, I promise. But I meant no salt. So it has no sugar, it has no oil, so it fits into a lot of those Sophus diets. Sherry's asking me how long it will keep. And honestly, it should keep at least a week, possibly longer. You could make less of this. How long it keeps will depend on two factors. One, how cold your fridge is, and the other one is how much like apple cider vinegar and salt. So if you don't use any salt, it's going to take down how long it'll keep, because both of those are preservatives. And Kim says she likes that it doesn't make a tremendous amount. And it's probably, does it have a measurement on here? I think it's probably about 2 cups-ish, I'm thinking. That looks about right to me. But you could totally take half of it. Oh, Sherry's saying, will I use all of it in this recipe today? Oh no, look, it is like it's more than double of what I'm gonna be starting as my base, so no. But I am gonna make some other sandwich or salads, like basically like summer salads the next few days on here actually. So I'll probably just use it again and refer back to this. But if you have regular vegan mayo, it lasts longer, but there's also salt and more vinegar, and it's been preserved a little bit differently. But I would think at least a week. I've not frozen it, but I think you probably could. So maybe I'll take a little container and freeze it, and we can see what happens when it thaws. Because if it was just me, that's kind of a lot. Okay, let's see. And Cooking on Caffeine is saying happy Wednesday to you. It is awesome. I'm trying to get used to looking at all the things. So what we've got here, we used my new favorite Ninja Smoothie blender thing. And I realized too, because this is so white, you can't see the little things going around. Hey Mary, thank you. Mary says, I'm the best, but you know what? Mary's the best. Actually, you know who's the best? All of you guys for coming to hang out with me. Because doing new things always stresses me out a little bit. So, and not only now I'm on Amazon, I've got my monitor and the new computer set up, and it's just like, I don't even know what to do with myself. But it's a lovely, lovely thing. So, for those of you who may just be tuning in, and I have to make sure to keep an eye over here too, so let me find a good place for that. What the heck are we making? We're making I'm Too Lazy to Cook. That's what we're making. In other words, tonight we're going to make chickpea salad, which is basically the default vegan plant-based thing that you can do when literally you have a teaspoon of energy. So what I did is I drained the aquafaba, or bean water, off of 1 can of beans, and I smushed them up with my little baby smusher. And I love this guy. This works really well on avocados, a can of beans for things like this. I like it when you don't need all the power of a big smusher. Okay, so we made some mayonnaise, and how we made our vegan sugar, oil-free mayonnaise. I use some salt. One thing too, oh hey Melissa, yay, I bet the kids are watching. Is Phoebe watching? Hey Phoebe, and hey everybody else. Awesome, and I think Citro is saying hi too, hello. I know it is, it's a little baby smusher. I like little teeny tiny things, like, I don't think I have it right here. I have this, well, I have some teeny tiny spatulas too. All right, so again, feeling lazy. Here's 1 can of chickpeas. They've been smushed, aquafaba reserved. Aquafaba can be used for other things, so even though we didn't use it in our mayo, and I'll go over it real quick again, you could freeze this in maybe 2 tablespoon ice cube trays. When they're frozen, put them in a Ziploc or a reusable bag, and then like a Ziploc, and I'll show you those tomorrow. And then what you can do is just pull them out, defrost it, and you can use that instead of egg in any kind of cake, cookie mix, things like that. You can also, oh, thank you, Serto, for following me. I appreciate it very, very much. What brand is the teeny tiny? Okay, I'm going to have to look. What brand is it? Best Manufacturers, I think, is the one it is. Is the one I found there. But basically, any silver teeny tiny one is the same, and you could even have one that has a handle on there. Yeah, oh, I'm the freezer queen. Joanne gets so mad at me because her freezer gets so full. But yeah, I do that also with tomato paste. I do that with homemade bouillon, and you can go to either of my sites and get my homemade bouillon cube recipe. We'll make that maybe soon too. Okay, so there we go. All right, so what we put in this mayonnaise is we literally put 1 of these shelf-stable packages of mayo, of silken tofu to make the mayo. Silken tofu to make the mayo. I swear I've not been drinking. Then we added some apple cider vinegar, a little bit of salt, and I ended up doing a little bit of lemon zest. You could do lemon juice instead of the apple cider vinegar, and I just put about half the amount I thought I would, blended it, tasted it, and readjusted. If you don't use salt at all, the salt substitute I'd recommend for this would be my homemade plain salt substitute, which is 1 tablespoon onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon ground celery seed. So, and that's what I would put in here. So it would be kind of flavor neutral. And with this base, I could take half of it out now, and then I can make half of it with some roasted garlic that I had, or put some sriracha in there. I can make different flavors. Any flavor of mayo that you see somewhere, you can make yourself. We could even just put some regular garlic and make like an aioli dip for things too. So it's pretty awesome. Oh, that's a great question, Ronnie. Can you use white beans for the mayo if avoiding soy? Yeah, I would say probably about 1 can or 1.5 cups of white beans is what I would start with. And that would be pretty close. That's a great question, Ronnie. I appreciate it. All right, so let's put some stuff in here. Let's get you the overhead view. So I'm gonna put some mayo in here. And basically I put as much as it needs for me to be happy. So usually between 2 and 3 tablespoons. So I'm just gonna, because this really is just like old-fashioned tuna salad. So if you, let's say you hate mayo, period. Like my friend Dawn, I know she doesn't like things that are white like that. Sour cream, all of those things. You could use like a balsamic vinegar instead, and maybe just put a little less in there if you didn't want to make the mayo, or you just didn't have any and you don't have the extra half teaspoon of stuff it needed. to make that as far as energy. Your energy was a little lower than mine. I can put just a little more because I like mine kind of where it looks like old-fashioned southern tuna salad, right? And that means kind of mayo-y. You're so welcome, Ronnie. I know, cooking on caffeine's like, hates mayo. I know, because like, to me, it really adds that. And for this factor too, you could add less too if you know you're going to put it on harder bread, because this is going to be a little smushier. It really just depends on what you like. I have some extra apple cider vinegar that I could put in there. The things that I know I'm going to put in, I'm going to put in some sweet relish. You could use not sweet relish. I have some thyme, onion powder, garlic powder, some celery seed, and a little bit of kind of Dijon fancy mustard, which would not be in southern tuna salad necessarily. Oh, thank you, Brazen. I appreciate that. She says, I seem energized. That could be the coffee I had earlier, too. We shall see. Okay, so again, I might also put some salt and pepper in here. And that my normal thing would be put some salt and pepper, maybe some thyme, a little bit of mustard. Let's see, I've still got, I'm gonna put probably about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of mustard in there to give it a little bit of tang. Depending on your mustard, it could also add a little bit of a vinegary flavor. And depending on the vegan mayo, if you're buying vegan mayo, let me grab some more taster spoons. Some of them are quite vinegary. So again, I can just kind of, mine's not vinegary at all. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a whole teaspoon of mustard because I'm on my way to crazy town with this excitement. And sometimes also instead of mayo, you could puree an avocado or mash it really well and use that instead with some extra lemon. And that would work too, Ronnie. And Facebook user is saying, what am I making? I'm making plain old chickpea salad for those who don't have enough energy to deal with dinner tonight like me. All right, so I'm gonna probably put about 1/8 of a teaspoon of onion powder, about the same. So that's like a couple of pinches. And this is granulated garlic. This is celery seed. So another thing you could do is you could cut up onions and celery and mince some garlic and have all that in there fresh. So that would work too. I'm going to put just a small pinch of celery seed in there. And I'm going to put just maybe a big pinch, maybe a really big pinch, maybe almost 1/8 of a teaspoon, I'm thinking, of thyme. We could do rosemary, we could do an Italian seasoning blend. We could do the sriracha, and this is one of my favorite srirachas, the yellow bird with the blue agave, and it's really yummy. And since I'm giving some to Cheryl, I'm not using that today, but I wanted to show you the option. Depending on where you're watching this, if you look up, down, or to the sides, you will see links to my avocado sriracha chickpea salad and then to an Indian chickpea salad that just has like a yogurt dressing. You do need cooked potatoes for that one. And you're going to taste this a lot to kind of get the little, and I would have tried to use an avocado today, but I don't have any ripe ones, so I just ordered some. Definitely needs salt for me, or you could use that plain salt substitute that I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to put a little pepper in there. And to me, that's a good plain right there. I'm going to add some relish in there because to me, when I was growing up and I ate tuna salad and now with chickpea salad, it's kind of just a reason for relish, in my opinion. Yep, that's much better. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to try and get as little liquid in there as possible. And let's try and heap this off the top. So I'm putting in a tablespoon. Sometimes I put in a ridiculous amount. Let me let you see it from the top again. I'm thinking I would like more. Oh, thank you. Mary likes the bowl. This is one of the OXO stainless steel bowls. I really like OXO stuff a lot. That could be enough relish. If I was doing a sandwich, I probably would do a little bit more. You can also add a little bit of sriracha at this point. It's pretty easy peasy. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what we're doing for dinner. So I actually got us some spring mix. And you could use romaine, you could use kale. If this didn't come first, I actually was going to just use some kale. Ooh, Cooking on Caffeine says she loves everything bagel seasoning, and that would be really great in there too, for sure. So I'm just going to take some of this salad, and I'll probably make Cheryl's a little separate because she's going to want me to pick out certain greens for her. And I probably will go ahead and put things like some extra kale in here. I'm going to put, what else do I have? I think we have some romaine, and she would really enjoy some romaine. So, but I thought she might be gone, and honestly, this is good enough for me. If you have some, I thought I had some grated carrots already in here, but I am not seeing them anywhere, which is strange because I see so many other things in there. I'm going to check one more place, and I've got a couple of cucumbers, so I could actually, where are the cucumbers? Here are the cucumbers. We'll make it extra stuff on the salad. Living on the edge, and I'll just grate a carrot. I've got so many carrots in here. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And look at this giant carrot. So let's just rinse off a carrot and a couple of cucumbers. You could put tomatoes. You could really put anything you wanted on this salad. You could chop up some zucchini. Let me see if hey Apple, it's awesome to see you. Aha, okay, and Brazen is saying light life vegetarian hot dogs are also an excuse to eat relish. Absolutely, and check the labels because right now I believe they have gone back to being gluten-free. Those of you who aren't gluten-free, it doesn't matter at all. But for those of us who are, it matters a lot. So I'm just going to kind of give us some of these. I love these pickle cucumbers and Cheryl likes them as well because they're not as seedy and as smushy. And a lot of times if I have a tomato, I'll just chop it up and put it on there too. I think we are just going to do a little piece of that. And I am in fact going to peel it. And in fact, if you don't have like a little grater that you wanted to grate this with, maybe I'll show you that. Let me just get this done first though. And check and see if anything's going on over there. It's an extravaganza. Somebody wants to come over to my house for dinner. Who are you? Perhaps you can. Facebook doesn't always show me your name, unfortunately. So if you put your name after your comment, if you're on Facebook, I will be happy to say your name instead of just Facebook user. I just don't want to make any assumptions. Okay, So I'll show you two ways that I think it's fun to use carrots in your salad. So one is grated. And in fact, I always have just some grated carrots that I buy at the store a lot of times. So first way, and again, I've got to stop. So first way is literally just to hold it in your hand and do like this. And you could do this for longer ones too. Woo! Woohoo! We're getting crazy. It's almost the cocktail hour where I'm going to have my non-alcoholic gin and tonic. So see how fluffy these kind of are? And I feel like that makes a nice, neat fluffiness on your salad. And it gives you a lot of texture and mouthfeel. And so this is the grater I used for the lemon zest. It's smaller, and it only has blades on one side. This, if you notice, has blades on both sides, which means you can go back and forth like this, which is really nice. And see, and that's way smaller than what you'd get if you buy shredded carrots in the grocery. They're more julienne carrots, and you know what? Personally, I don't care which ones they are. I just want them to be on there and give us some carroty goodness. It's Mia is on Facebook user. She lives in Pittsburgh and she grows my basil. Do you guys have a personal basil hookup? Because I got to tell you, it's pretty awesome to have it. Well, the thing is Mia, this truly is like super boring dinner. So what I'm going to do, and I'll make this one, and you could, maybe you had some leftover vegetables. Ooh, go back. Okay, so pretend there's kale and Swiss chard and anything else you want on there. Tomatoes. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put the veggies around the edges because we're going to put a big scoop. And see, I'll save those carrots. So these are kind of moist and yummy, just for some color. Ooh, somebody's basil is right outside their door. That's awesome. I want that for sure. And in fact, I am growing some herbs this year on the deck. Okay, so imagine that there's more vegetables and things like that around. Let me find a good size scoop for the chickpea salad. I see all my tiny scoops. Where are my big scoops at? Ha. Okay. So I'm literally just going to take, come in here, just like you would at the diner. You could have more than this too if you wanted. If you had like some just egg, you could chop it up and put it in your faux tuna salad if you wanted to. We can make this go up a little bit higher. Give it that TV look. And then I could put some of these here for prettiness, and maybe cut up a couple pieces of parsley. You could also cut up other herbs like cilantro or anything like that. Here we go. I'm just going to move this over. I'm going to chop up a little bit of parsley. And I'm using that mise-en knife that I like so much. And anytime you can get some sort of green and extra herbs on it, it's going to add to the taste, but it's also going to add to the nutritional value. And see, doesn't that look prettier? And if you wanted to, you could serve this with an extra dressing, but really the mayo inside of it is going to be the dressing as it is. And that's dinner. And we made this in like what? 30 minutes? I can't quite see over there. Deb P says it looks yummy. I think it looks yummy. And there's enough for more people. So this started off being a can of chickpeas. I had some pre-washed salad. You could also have had, I like to really kind of cut up my cucumbers, tomato. I don't cut up my tomatoes as much. Though if I have leftovers, I'll put it in the fridge. It gets mushy. But if you have a really good tomato and add to this, a whole tomato, it can just be lovely. You could put some croutons on here or something if you wanted to, or crispy chickpeas. But really, it's just super simple. And it took us 30 minutes, and that's with us making our own mayo from scratch, our own vegan mayo. We cut up some vegetables, we grated some vegetables. Yeah, I don't know that you can make things any easier than this. So, do you guys have any questions at all? Again, so in the chickpea salad, I put some of this mayo, I put a little bit of salt, pepper, celery seed, thyme, onion powder, garlic powder, some relish. In the mayo itself is some silken tofu with some apple cider vinegar, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of lemon zest. You could use lemon juice instead. Oh, perfect question. So Sherry has the perfect question because this is typically tuna salad for vegans. For more tuna taste, would you add dulce flakes or any other seaweed? Absolutely. You could crumple up some nori. You could use dulce. You could use any of the seaweeds that you want. Cheryl hates seafood flavor. So she won't even eat vegan sushi. So that's why I leave it out. And that's also why I call it chickpea salad instead of vegan tuna salad. But you absolutely could do that. And I think I have, let's see what I have in here. Yeah. These seasonings I like a lot. And I'll find them on Amazon to add them to. It's just, you can get these and they just are shakeable. And so that's one thing I could do is I could just shake some over because things like kelp actually have a lot of iodine. So we could add some of that to mine, but just not to Cheryl's. I'll let you guys see what that looks like too. I will one day get used to where this is. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. But yeah, that definitely will give it a little more of a sea flavor. Okay, guys, then if you don't have any other questions. Oh, and that's okay, Sherry. She didn't know that about Cheryl. Yeah, no, Cheryl is a picky eater. We all know Cheryl eats so much more than she used to eat, which is super awesome. But I'm going to try and do more of a series of this. I may do even a lunch tomorrow. So I was thinking, if you guys have some ideas, let me know. But I'll probably do like a soy curl salad, which will be like a chicken salad. There's just so many things we can do. And again, if you're interested in the class, be sure to go on over to kathyhester.podia.com and take a look there. We're going to make a whole bunch of different things tomorrow at 4 with cans of beans over there, but I'm probably going to do a live over here during the afternoon. I'm glad that you like it. And here's the thing, it's stupid simple. It's ridiculously simple. And any veggies you have, if you had some leftover steamed broccoli from last night, you could throw some of that around. And it just all will be great. Okay, awesome. You guys have an amazing night. Make some easy dinner. You can do it. I know you can. Oh, and Sherry was saying about a mock chicken with jackfruit. Yes, and you can make a mock tuna salad with jackfruit too. I was thinking of using a can of jackfruit for one and then doing something with soy curls. But if you guys want to leave comments and ask me for some specific recipes, that could happen too. Okay, so have an amazing rest of your day.